What's going on, my subscribers? Ace here, and today we have the first battle of my CCL team, the Alabasta Arcanines, versus Marty, who's my friend, and he is the head coach of the Warnsveld Weezings. And you guys already saw in the team builder what team I'm bringing against Marty, and the reasons why I felt I needed to bring this team. So looking over at Marty's team, he ended up bringing the Bronzong, Sableye, which I'm assuming is Mega, the Rampardos, Chestnut, and the Volcarona and Azumarill. Now, as you guys can see, this is going to be post-com, so I do already know what happens, but I'm not going to spoil anything. I do plan to do most of these post-com, but I might do live if you guys would like that more. I just feel a little more comfortable explaining to you guys. I feel that I have a little bit more vision and a little more clarity in what I'm saying when I do it post-com as opposed to live. But yeah, so looking over at his team, I was like, okay, he brought the Sableye, so it's definitely going to be Mega, and since he brought the Volcarona, he wants to keep me away from getting the rocks up. So, I was like, okay, definitely Mr. Mime is a great lead against this team because the Chestnut doesn't check it. If it's not a Scarfed Rampardos, I outspeed that, and it outspeeds Azumarill, and I'd just be in a fine position. So we'll go ahead and play off there. So I really expected him to lead off with the Sableye, so I led off with my Mr. Mime. And he actually leads off with his Azumarill, so I was like, crap, well that's not good. So I have to swap out here, basically. So I'm like, alright, I need to swap into Weezing here. I swap out. And Marty goes for the bold move here, and he actually substitutes up here, and I was like, oh crap, wait. But then I realized that this means that he doesn't have the belly drum because you don't run the belly drum set without the citrus if you're running substitute. Just because people can break your sub and you're down to 25% health, and basically that means you have to Aqua Jet everything. And plus the Aqua Jet doesn't take out a lot of the things on my team. It would really be a waste here. So I just Sludge Bomb here, and he actually decides to Power Up Punch. So now I know he's probably the set that you run with substitute. So it's like substitute, Power Up Punch, Play Rough, and Aqua Jet. But he could substitute out Waterfall for the Aqua Jet if he really needs. But I feel he probably want priority on it there. But here I'm like, okay, he's probably going to swap out, and I'd like to catch a Willow on pretty much anything on his team. So he does swap in here his Harvest, the Bronzong, and I'm like, this is absolutely great. I don't really mind if he gets up Stealth Rocks against me. So I was like, okay, I get this Will-O-Wisp off for free. He's burnt. He can't Gyro Ball me. His end headbutt's going to do absolutely nothing to me. So I can just set up Toxic Spikes here. So I set up one layer of Toxic Spikes, and I'm like, alright, great. And he actually sets up the Trick Room here, and I was like, ooh, that's interesting. So that means that all of his mons, probably minus Volcarona, are mid speed, and I don't have to worry about once the Trick Room runs out if I can get against this thing. And I decided to stay in here because I didn't think he was special, basically. Marty was smarter than me, basically, and he ran a special Bronzong, probably specifically for my Weezing there, and that was my own fault there, not expecting him to be special. But here I know that I'm slower than this Bronzong here because Blastoise doesn't have any speed investments in it. So now I'm here to just fire off a Dark Pulse, and he actually swaps in his Sableye here, so I was like, that's great. I will take this thing dying and me being able to get up Stealth Rocks or whatever I need to get up. Toxic, well, I can't set up Toxic Spice because Weezing's dead now. But I'm free to fire off a Dark Pulse here and just blow this thing back. Now I know that he does have the Prankster ability, so he will be able to get off a Recover here, but with the combination of a Water Pulse and Toxic Spikes here, I feel it's fine for me to go for a Water Pulse in case he tried to switch out into the Volcarona to try and eat up no, actually not Volcarona, into the Azumarill to eat up a Dark Pulse, and I could possibly get a Confusion Hacks on the Azumarill upon switching. So I fire off a Water Pulse here, and like I said, the combination here of this Water Pulse plus the Toxic Spikes will take this thing out, even after his Recover, so I was like, okay, that's going to be fine. And I thought it was better there just to take the more offensive approach because I am down a Mon, so now we are even here, and he swaps in his Paladin Dan, which is the Chestnut here, and obviously I can't stay in here. This thing is way too important for me to lose at this point. So I swap in here Mr. Mime because Mr. Mime can take anything from this. Even a Seed Bomb isn't going to do too much to a Mr. Mime here. But he actually sets up the spikes, and I was like, okay, that's interesting. And actually, I knew the Trick Room was going to run out this turn, so I would actually be faster than this Chestnut upon swapping. And now that his Sableye is gone, I can freely go for Psychics. He does Spiky Shield up to protect here, and he sees that I'm going for Psychic, so maybe he's trying to scout if I'm a Scarf Mr. Mime, and I'm not actually a Scarf Mr. Mime, I'm an Expert Belt Mr. Mime, as you guys know. So I just go for a Psychic here just to blow this thing back and kind of be able to bluff the Scarf if I really want to. And yeah, that's just not down there, easy peasy pretty much. And no, Marty swaps in this thing, and I was like, okay. I don't really know. I didn't understand why he swapped this thing in. Like, it's outside the Trick Room. So I was like, okay, why swap this thing in? I'm just going to Psychic you. And then he reveals he's actually Scarfed. Which I was also confused on. I was like, why would you run a Scarf Rampardos in Trick Room if that's what you're trying to set up? Basically for, like, your Azumarill and your Rampardos. And Marty actually told me after that he didn't mean for this thing to be Scarfed. He just saw that it was Scarfed after. Oh, actually during the battle. And, was like, oh, okay, well, he'll run with it. But now I know that he's Scarfed, so I can just swap in Blastoise for free because an Iron Head isn't going to do much to me, realistically, because I do resist it. And as long as I don't get flinched, I'm fine here. So I just fire off a Water Pulse and proceed to blow this thing back. So Rockstar, the Rampardos just go down. And now I'm in a really good position here. Basically, he has 3 Pokemon left, which is this Bronzong, the Chestnut, and the Azumarill. So now I'm like, okay, I can just Dark Pulse this thing. This king isn't going to outspeed me, I don't think. Yep, and we blow that thing back. So now I'm just chilling in a good position here. There isn't really anything he can do. He brings out this, and I know that from the percentage I'm at, because I'm max HP, Giga Drain won't kill me, so I can just fire off another Water Pulse. I don't have to switch out into anything. And see, we live that pretty handily. Even, I'm not sure if we would have lived the crit, actually, which I might have to think about later. But yeah, no, we just proceed to blow that thing back. Absolute one-shot. Max attack, max HP, Blastoise just going in. And we have the Azumarill come out. So this is his last mon here, and now that it is poisoned, I basically know that I've won the match here. There isn't really anything he can do. He doesn't have the Belly Drum because the set he's running doesn't allow for it. So I just go for the Water Pulse here. And he proceeds to Power Up Punch. I guess it's like his desperate attempt there to kind of bring it back. But I've won at this point. So basically at this point, I really didn't feel that I played super well. So I kind of just swap around after that. Like, I'm just going to swap out here just to allow him to die down to Toxic. And I kind of want to show off what I brought because I thought it was smart of me to bring some of these things. Like, I brought in the Latias here as he's going to sub up here. And I'm not really too worried because it's just lowering his health. And in 2 turns, he'll die to Toxic regardless. Even with the leftovers, he'll die to Toxic. And I have 4 mons to swap around, so it's not really a big deal. But here I just want to set up the Sandstorm, which will also hurt him in health-wise. So I just set up a Sandstorm here just to kind of reveal that I was Sandstorm, and then I was setting that up for my Excadrill in the back if things went wrong. But he goes for the play rough here and just proceeds to take out my Latias. I'm not really worried about differential here. Marty's a good friend of mine, so I didn't really want to like make it like a 6-0 or anything against him. I didn't really care about the differential. I just thought it would be good to have a fun time here. And now after the Toxic and the Sandstorm damage here, he's going to basically have one last turn. So I just want to bring out my Excadrill here and just kind of show him that I was the Sandrush ability here. So, you know, just to kind of like show off what I brought. Raikou didn't get to touch the field, but that's basically all. He Aqua Jet's here, and with +2, this will easily take me out. So we do beat Marty with the 2-0, and it wasn't the greatest match on my end, but I felt that I played decently well. Like I kind of knew what he was going for, and he did throw me off with the special Bronzong and the Scarf Rampardos, which actually was a mistake, but I mean we take those, right? Like he'll take that obviously. So good looks to Marty there. I definitely think that in the future matches I'll have to kind of anticipate my opponents to be running different sets than standard. That kind of costed me, and if Marty had been able to capitalize a little bit better, or if I hadn't been running the sets that I was running, he definitely could have run through me. So I definitely have to be careful, but I think that was a decent warm-up match as my first round for both of us, really, just to get like our bearings. And yeah, so I hope you guys enjoyed that. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to hit that like button and subscribe down below if you want to see more of these battles. Marty doesn't have a channel actually, but on the CCL channel, which is linked down in the description, you can see all of the battles from people who don't have channels if they are able to record them. And yeah, guys, I'm really excited for the season. I'm really hoping to take it all. I know I have to play better than that. I didn't play the greatest way, but I felt that I played pretty well, and I understood how to beat him in the win condition there. But yeah, that's gonna be it, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'm out. Bye bye.